Hello my crafty friends and welcome to Eastwick's Paper and Ink. My name is Katie and today we are participating in our monthly Team Tiny video hop. This month's theme is Team Tiny Sweet. So you want to make sure you click that hashtag that's in the description box below right at the top, hashtag Team Tiny Sweet. That's going to take you to all of the crafters that are participating in this hop. And the purpose of the hop is to help small channels like mine to grow. So you want to make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channels. And this lets YouTube know that you guys are watching it, you like it, we're engaging, you're engaging with the creator's engaging with you. And YouTube will naturally push our videos out. So it's really important that as you watch through the video, you're liking, you're commenting, you're subscribing, and if you like it enough to go ahead and share it with other people as well. So what's nice about our small channels is that we don't have ads. We're not monetized. So that means you don't have to skip an ad. You don't have to wait through an ad. You can just go ahead and hop on through and watch all the videos and enjoy. And we really, really appreciate you guys watching our videos and supporting us. It really means a lot to us. So I want to thank you all for being here. So my interpretation of sweet is I'm going to do a shaker card, and I'm actually going to be using the Glimmer of the Month foil kit, and I'm going to use these as my shaker bits. And I also used Lawn Fawn's Conversation Heart add-on, and I just ink blended some backgrounds. In fact, if you want to check out how I made the backgrounds, you can check out my video that I just recently posted that talks about the best blending tool. And I also do some comparing of papers and things like that and the different tools. So you can check that out and see how I made these. But I just went through and I stamped in different colors. I used on these little conversation hearts, I did Juice Box, these are all Lawn Fawn inks, Juice Box, Raspberry, Forget Me Not, and Plastic Flamingo. Set that off to the side. And for my acetate, I'm going to be using Lawn Fawn's clear acetate to cover my window. And I'm also going to be doing, I'm going to actually do that same ink blending, so you get to see a little bit of that. But I do recommend you check that video out I was just talking about, because I go into great detail of different papers and give some tips and tricks for some pretty easy blending. And I'm going to use the Simon Says stamp Falling Backgrounds, and I'm going to use the hearts. And set that off over there. We need some Versamark ink because we're going to emboss those falling hearts with some Wow's Silver Pearl embossing powder. We're going to do our background on some 100% cotton watercolor paper, and I'm going to use Spun Sugar, Picked Raspberry, and Wilted Violet. And we got the arches, and the Lawn Fawn Conversation Hearts that I cut out, I used the smallest heart in the Quick Cuts Nesting Hearts die set. And to cut out my hearts for the Conversation Hearts, the foiled Conversation Hearts for the Glimmer of the Month Club, I used the die that comes with it. Set that off to the side. And I know a lot of people use foam, which I may end up just to pop this up a little bit, but I just took some cardstock in a heavy-duty pack that I picked up at Michael's. The pink, I want to say Pink Petals is the variety pack, but I just die cut, I think 6 or 7 of these panels with the A2 layering dies from Waffle Flower, and I used the very largest, and then I counted in to the 4th one, so I used the 1st and the 4th to get my frame. Set that off over there. And we've got some score tape. We've got a little block to cut our score tape. I've got my Stamparatus from Stampin' Up. The reason I have a couple different stamping tools, and I have another one coming, but it's going to take a little bit to get here. And the reason I wanted to use this is because you can move the hinge, and it's perfect for this stamp set to be able to bring it down, and then you can evenly layer, you know, your backgrounds. It's easier to make the backgrounds with this. So we're going to use this. And of course we got a powder tool. I am going to be using makeup brushes today because I want a softer look to my backgrounds. So I got a makeup brush, and I'm going to keep that there because I got a glare from my light on my table. But I got a microfiber cloth that I'll use to clean off my brush. So we're going to get started right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my hot press watercolor paper. Now this is Arches, so it's 100% cotton. I'm just taking my anti-static powder tool and really applying that. If you saw my last video hop video, I err on the side of caution and I use way too much powder probably, but it is what it is. Just blow off the excess. I'm going to put I am using some Misty Creative Corners to hold everything in place. And I'm going to place, sorry about my head guys. Place that down. Get everything back in place. Alright, now I'm going to put my lid for my thing right back here because it helps stabilize that. If anybody has one of these platforms, and I'm sorry for the shakes, guys. Try and move this back a little bit. Straighten it out for you. Then you'll know that it drops down quite a bit. So, whoop. Now I am going to ink this up a couple of times because it is watercolor paper, and even though it's hot pressed and it's a lot smoother, there is still a bit of a texture to it. So I am going to go ahead and ink this up twice. And the reason I'm using the Misty Corners, one, I wanted to bring it out from the edge a little bit, but the other reason is because for some reason all these magnets are too thick and you can hear it hitting the glass, so I end up pushing harder and more than I probably need to, and it, like I told you before in my other video, I lay this background stamps down because I don't like that halo effect. I want the definition. And so I was finding that I was pushing a bit too hard because I tested this just to see, because I have the Gina K embossing ink as well, and I didn't like that as well. I didn't feel that I got as great of an impression. So I switched back over to my Versamark just to be safe. And the other reason I do extra inking with Versamark, or any ink really, I guess, on watercolor paper is because it's absorbent. You know, it's going to absorb it right in, so I don't like that either. Maybe I'll put that on there. I like it to stay where it is. So I always feel like a smudge when I have to lift it off the stamp like that. And I am going to speed the video up to finish up these next couple rows. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm actually going to I'm going to go purple to light, but I'm going to put spun sugar down first, and that way it's softer down here at the bottom. And I'm going to move into the picked raspberry just to deepen that pink up. Give a white down. And I didn't clean my brush because I'm okay if, you know, there's a little bit of that pink on there. It'll be all right. And I thought about just doing the two pinks, but I just thought that the purple would add a nice little something. You just want to blot that line out from the So I have my layers, and I tried one out over here on the side. I think it's a little too dark, but I do still want to, I think, add a little bit of color. And I'm going to use the foam brush just because I think it'd be easier to apply the ink. The brush, when I did it, was a little tough. I just want to add a little gradient to the front. I think it'll give it a little something extra. And full disclosure, first time making a shaker card, never made one before. And I thought I'd do it a little bit different. I'm not going to put any sequins or anything in. I'm going to let my little hearts be the shaker bits. Okay, so now we're going to throw in a little purple. Brush may have done a better job. We can always layer it in the back if we have to, if it doesn't, the other one looks better. Just have to see. That's had a few minutes to dry too. Now this I'm just lightly adding that color. So I still want to keep it light on the bottom here. It's hard to do these little thin frames, but once we glue them down and put them together, they'll be fine. I kind of like this one better. This one. Alright, we'll set it off to the side and see. Okay, so let's try something. Soften it a little bit because it's a bit harsh. Sorry about all the shakes, guys. That's a little bit better. Let's clean this off and see about a little picked raspberry in there. Blend together. Okay, I am pulling out my score tape. This is 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just doing a little layout. I want to see, trying to figure out, so these have adhesive on the back of them. I just had put some scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive, and I figured I would do the conversation hearts, these little ones, tacked down, but then I thought, you know, I could put these here and then add these little shaker bits in, so these won't move. Then I wonder, should I have them more open and then the rest? The only thing I don't know is how well those are going to shake, because these are, you know, they're a little thick. You know what, we're going to try it. Don't know till we try. Okay, so I'm just going to take the release paper off this. And we'll put that there, give it a good press down. Put one here. Use my art glitter glue, and we'll glue these other ones down because these ones I didn't. If you have these Glimmer Foil plates, I know they have like an add-on with some extras or something that, you know, they came out with. I had the hardest time. That's one of the reasons I kind of pre-prepped a lot of this stuff, was for one, I knew it would take a while with all these little bits. But the other reason is I was kind of struggling to get these to foil with this solid image, with the solid foiling. And so I tried a couple different papers, and you know, I had my shims in there, but it just wasn't doing it. So finally I went to my go-to Gina K Designs white layering paper for foiling. I really like that, and it works really good. And I used 3 shims. I added another shim. I was using 2 initially, which is usually what I can get away with. And the that is what worked. That is what gave me a solid foiling. So if you're having some underfoiling issues with them, I definitely would add an extra shim, and I would do a full sheet. I wouldn't just try to focus it on I would not try to focus it on just the particular heart. I just take it on 8.5 by 11. I have a lot of paper packs that I purchased from Michael's and Hobby Lobby and stuff that, you know, there's colors that I'm not going to use. So they don't go to waste. I use them as my shims for that type of stuff. And Sorry that I realized I may have just made a mistake, but we'll see, maybe not. So I went with the cardstock. In fact, I think I got this idea from Nicole Sporer, where she does cardstock instead of foam. Maybe Jennifer McGuire did it too, for her stacking of, to make her shaker things, because foam can mush down and, you know, it's, so I got this idea to just do the cardstock because it's a bit more easy, it's a bit easier to work with, it's more stable. And again, this is the first shaker card I've ever made, so, you know, I want to go the easiest way possible. But this pink paper is from one of those paper packs from Michaels, the heavyweight pinks, I think it was, different shades of pinks. These, and then I'm gonna add in those little pieces because I can always add foam to that to pop that up if I need more space, but we can test it by pinching the sides down. But we'll get these in there. I mean, that's pretty good depth. Can you see that? Okay, it's pretty good. All right, so let us toss these in, and I'll just leave the backing because, like I said, those have adhesive on them. And we'll see how these shake. Okay. I think they'll shake okay, but I guess I don't need to do foam, right? Maybe just pop it up a smidge. Well, I could always do this one. Got one more of them. Not gonna hurt it to have that color on there because it all kind of goes. Might have to take a couple of these out. And keep the loves and the hugs and the kisses. Take a high and a miss you out. How about that? Okay guys, so I did go ahead and I added some foam to this, and I think I'm going to leave it with that amount of bits in there just to be safe. Probably could have flipped it around and I'll say I don't like that, but what can you do? It'll work. Okay. All right, guys, so I'm debating between love and hugs. So I'm going to cut them both out. So I went in, I don't know if you can see it, I spritz a little Perfect Pearls on there, and I may put some either glossy accents or something on there. Pop and give it a little bit of dimension. And this Hugs die is from Hero Arts. I wasn't sure what sentiment to put on there, and it certainly does look awfully plain. And I don't have tons of word dies, but that might be cute. Maybe in the middle. I don't know. Let's check out this love. This came in the Spellbinders kit too. See how that does. Sometimes I'm just not sure, and I have to let it stew for a little bit. Sorry for the shakes, guys. Try to go slower. Do just that little love down there in the corner. I don't know. Tell me in the comments below what you would have used. I'm not sure yet. We're going to find out here in a minute though. Okay guys, I went with Hugs and I put it in the center. And I just put some art glitter glue on. I'm hoping that it'll hold it down on there, glue it down on there. So we're gonna let that rest for a second. Okay, so some of my video disappeared. I don't know if it just didn't record or what. I was having some internet problems today and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So it could have been a problem with that. So I just wanted to go over the part that missed. Which was the sentiment for, you know, sending. I had attached the Hugs. I used this stamp set, the Love stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I stamped it in Gina K Designs Soft Stone. Really like that gray ink. And, you know, gray and pink and purple, they all kind of go together. So I thought it was a nice mix. And the piece that I stamped it on is a ink-blended piece of the ink blended panel that I did in my previous video. And the white was just too stark. I had done it in white and it was too short. In fact, I probably could have just kept it straight and just butted it up against there, and that would have looked good too. And I also took the other conversation hearts that I had, and because they had adhesive on the back, I just popped them inside the card and stamped a Happy Valentine's Day, and that is from the Love Notes stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. And I stamped a little pink heart in Spun Sugar, and that was also from the same Love Notes stamp set. And that's gonna do it. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of splotchy here and there because I had missed some pieces, and you know, I was kind of walking you through my process. Sometimes when I sit down to do a card, I have something in mind and it doesn't necessarily go the way I think. And one of the things, as I was reviewing the video, I actually liked having the 3 hearts down here at the bottom, and I could have gotten away with gluing those there and then having the rest, you know, shake around, and that would have been good too. So gives me some ideas, you know, for an alternate, you know, if I want to do it again, or if you choose to make a card like this. I like the idea of doing something different than sequins and things like that, by adding, you know, these little candy hearts, pseudo candy hearts in in here. In fact, I showed my husband, because we're going to send it to his mom for Valentine's Day. She's having cataract surgery sometime in the month of February, and I showed him that it shake, and he said, oh, that's neat. So I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to comment. Let me know what sentiment you would have used. I thought the love was a little too small and kind of got lost with all these bigger conversation hearts in the back inside there, so I thought the hugs worked out perfect. When you tilt it in light, you can see the shimmer from the perfect pearl, so that's why I didn't necessarily need to go in and add in the dimension. I did say that I was going to layer this up, but I didn't. I thought just the one layer was enough, and art glitter glue stuck perfectly to this acetate. In fact, I really like this acetate. It's nice, and it's thick, and it's not flimsy. And I mean, I can see my fingerprint smudges on there, oil and stuff from my hands, but you don't notice it. I definitely will get some more of this. In fact, quickly, I take some, when I get some glimmer foils, I have a few of them that I have to do, I swatch them on acetate so that I can see, and then I can go and I can, put them on a cardstock to see if I'll like them. And this is the Judikins, and it's thinner than the Lawn Fawn one, and I might take a couple to try out and see, because that might be a better, because it's a little bit thicker to glimmer foil on, because that's a bit of a struggle too. So at any rate, let me know in the comments below what you think of the card, and I'm so glad you guys are here today. Thanks to all my new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified of my next video upload. Same to you, my current subscribers. Make sure you hit that bell to be notified if you haven't already, so you know when my next video uploads. Products will be listed in the description box below, and make sure you hit on that hashtag Team Tiny Sweets and follow along with my fellow crafters on the video hop. Thanks again for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day.